Alright, so after a relatively short wait, at least compared to the time between Season 1 and Season 2 of Amphibia, we have Season 3, we have the new normal. So I'm super excited for this because obviously we're on Earth now, so how is that going to affect Anne and the Plantars, and then Sasha and Marcy are still in Amphibia. So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see this season explore that, as well as like Anne's relationship with her parents and how they're gonna be around the Plantars. I think that's all gonna be really interesting to see. You know, plus we have Andrias doing whatever he has going on in Amphibia, but Sasha and Marcy I feel will kind of be handling most of that. So yeah, so a lot to look forward to with Season 3. So super excited. But yeah, I mean, this is probably gonna be the last season of Amphibia. I know there hasn't been any official word on it. But I mean, Matt has said that he likes the 3-act formats, and I mean, with where we are in the show, like this seems to be, you know, nearing the end game. So last like season premiere, like last first, you know, episode of a season. So it's kind of bittersweet, but yeah. So let's get into it. Los Angeles. I was actually in Los Angeles like 2 weeks ago. I had like back-to-back trips. It was a fun time. Yeah, traffic in LA was awful when I was there. It's like, wow, this is horrible. I couldn't put up with this every day. It is pretty though. Yep, you back. There you go, got that 5G. I like that seeing LA and like cars and the freeway and everything wasn't enough. She only knew because of the 5G. Oh, that's a, no, you can't do that. That's a crime. Sprig. Compared to Amphibia, I feel like you've been in some pretty smelly places before, Sprig.
She just gotta be. And with her and
I mean,
Sasha
yeah,
still stuck
but
over
like,
there,
it ain't
one
looking
thing's for
good.
sure. We
And
gotta find a way back.
we saw the trailer. Like, I've already seen this clip, but still.
Anne, probably hide in here for the time.
Hide in the trash.
Ease them into all of, or that Andrias betrayed us, or that Marcy did, or that Sasha did, and not a word about my weird glowing blue powers.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've been betrayed by a lot of people. Andrias, you should have seen coming though, and to be honest. Oh, and Domino. Oh, man, could you imagine losing your kid for like a couple months?
I'm coming.
And then all of a sudden, just at the door like this.
Anne? Anne, you're back! You're safe!
Domino!
Yeah, Domino!
It's a really long story.
Like 2 seasons worth of a story.
So,
This is like me explaining shows that I watch to my friends and family.
So yeah, you're pretty much caught up.
It is a
Hold
lot,
on, back up.
admittedly.
You're telling us there's a whole world of talking frogs called Amphibiland?
It's actually called Amphibia.
That was the working title for the show, Amphibiland, at one point.
Can the Plantars stay with us until we find them a way home?
Wait, you serious?
Oh, Mom!
New legs. You know how it is.
Oh, thank you.
I wonder if this is
Alright,
gonna
if we're
have
doing
some
this,
like
we gotta
major
be extra
repercussions.
careful.
Like I know that we
No
have
one out there can know you exist. You're all on
the
lockdown.
authorities that we
You
saw
heard me, man.
before,
You're
but
all on lockdown. Got it?
oh my gosh, 2
What?
dads. The quarantine thing is very interesting considering everything that's been going on, you know, in the world to now, and I'm assuming that the production would have lined up pretty closely with when the quarantine was actually happening when this episode was made. Ew, Polly, that's so not sanitary. You're gonna get all kinds of diseases. Oh, Domino. Polly, you're lucky you haven't been scratched up. Oh, man. Oh.
Looking for
Oh,
this?
Also, do you have any more of these candy bars?
Oh gosh, that's disgusting.
And I get that it's scary to think about losing me again, but I need a little
Don't
bit of space
open
or
up
I'm gonna
any
lose
more
my
music
mind. You
boxes,
guys are being-
Anne.
Let me and the Plantars out, just for an hour. I'll take care of them.
Oh yeah, yeah, this is,
Absolutely
this,
not.
yeah.
Just look at what you drew as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since she got back, she has seemed a little more mature.
She used to beg me not
Being
to
in
take her to
another
the
world
market.
will do that to you.
Okay, Anne?
Huh?
We willing to give it a try.
But you stay with us at all times.
This is still gonna
And
go
if
horribly
anything
wrong,
goes
but
wrong, it's
yay!
back to lockdown.
Nothing's gonna be trying to kill us for a change.
Oh man, we're already just checking out what's going on here. Alrighty, alright. Like it.
Only one remains who could stand between me and my conquest. Boom choy.
Yeah, I was about to say, and?
Would you mind picking me up the latest Cynthia Coven book? Marcy got me hooked and I'm dying to know what happened. And maybe some of those potato chip things she had.
How is he gonna get a book
Marcy,
if he's
your
not supposed to be
friends are
seen?
about to be- Your part is just beginning.
Yeah, corrupted Marcy arc. Here we go. Oh, okay, that's how. Alright, cool. Invisibility. That makes sense. Cool.
Sprig, I'm sure Anne knows what she's
Oh
talking about.
gosh. Hot pop.
What? If you got it, you gotta flaunt it.
Actually, let's try something else.
Oh god. Yep,
Okay,
this
but no more
trip
victory jumps.
is gonna go so great.
Now let's get shopping.
And imagine being this excited to go to a grocery store. Oh man, I remember the minivan days.
This was.
No worries. I took a picture of the shopping list before we left, just in case.
Aw,
Oh, thank you, Anne.
so
That was
responsible.
strangely responsible. Of you.
I want to buy a lotto ticket.
You will do no
can't.
such thing.
You're underage. You can't do that, Polly. Oh, durian. Oh god. Yeah.
Rotten egg.
Maybe Old Frog was right.
I mean,
She has come a long way.
I mean,
now come on.
yes,
Mama needs her
but
Jasmine
still,
tea.
trouble seems to follow wherever she goes.
Door.
Like this.
They're noodles. Asian food's heart and soul.
Noodles are really good. Uh-oh. Magnets? Interesting.
Huh? Thing is a.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so the invisibility seems to
Take this.
be pretty easy to disrupt.
People go crazy for those noodles.
But how did it get here? And what
The box?
Andrias must have sent it to capture it.
Yeah, he still has the box.
Power!
Does she know how to use
If I
it?
knew how to use them.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Wouldn't it draw a lot of attention if we fight a robot in the middle of a store?
it would.
Probably. All right, that'll cover up any noise that we might make. Now
Will
come
it?
on. What?
Speak up.
This music makes me mad. Just come on.
Hey, I love this song.
Oh man, look at this cute. This is just rocking out. Why? Why is the rope? Oh,
That's
because
weird.
he can't be
Looks like
seen.
the robot doesn't want to get caught either.
Me and Anne have the same idea. But I mean, the fact that he has not been noticed at this point is nothing short of a miracle. Now, why would you go into the employees only? Go, like, try and lure it out where there's, like, a lot of people. It's like a horror movie. Ew. 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 Oh, that's right. They
Great.
freeze, like, immediately.
Frogs.
You know, it was a good effort. It was a good attempt. Oh, okay. Are the power's gonna come now? Ooh, speedy. It's gonna be like, oh, I thought it would be cool if like she was close up by the time that the vision came back. Oh, you just running? You took one hit and you running?
Be right back.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Durian to the
Oh, durian.
rescue. No, get it away! It was great.
Man, the
Walking
fact
around
that
a boring
no
old
one has
supermarket
noticed
was
that the
just the
supermarket
thrill
has
we
been
needed.
partially destroyed is
Here's the
incredible.
fish you want.
We're just lucky to have a daughter who would never do something like that.
Yeah, it's not that funny though.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, but using them feels bad.
Well, we won't make you use them again.
Interesting.
And somehow defeat King Andrias, and make up with my two best friends, and bring them back to Earth.
A very
Okay,
short,
sounds like a lot.
manageable to-do
But I
list.
can do it.
Yeah, as long as that robot never comes back, I think everything's gonna be fine.
You really
Yeah,
gotta stop
maybe
saying
not
stuff
that
like
one, but maybe
What's for
like
dinner? You
an
got
army.
my-
Oh no, the rain! The rain!
At all costs.
Alright. Aw, new ending! Aw, this is so cute! Aw, that was cool! Aw, Oh man, I do love like the low-key nice like chill jams of the past two Amphibia endings, but that was really cool. The animation and the colors were really, really awesome. I like the style that it was in. Aw, that was so good. Oh man, that was such a good episode. I always love the 22-minute episodes of Amphibia. Those are like always the best. All right, well, one down. Oh boy. So after a relatively short hiatus, we have the premiere of Season 3 of Amphibia. While there hasn't necessarily been any official news confirming Season 3 is the last of the series, creator Matt Brawley saying he likes the 3-act format, and with where we are in the series right now, the third season looks like it's gearing up for the end. And our first episode heading towards that end is the new normal. Now, after True Colors, we were left on a cliffhanger of Anne and the Plantars being on Earth, and more specifically, Los Angeles. So this episode deals with the new normal of having Anne back at home reunited with her parents, the Plantars now in a swapped role of being the ones who need to be taken care of, and Andrias sending his robots to tie up the loose ends with Anne. Now, before I get into this review, I'm going to try a slightly different format. Rather than go scene by scene, essentially explaining the plot of the episode, I'm going to pick out the things I noticed or liked and elaborate on those. I'll still be going in the order of the episode, but this way I feel like I don't drag the review on too long by basically just retelling the episode scene by scene. So let me know what you guys think going forward. But without further ado, let's get into it. So like I said, we start out where Season 2 left off, with Anne and the Plantars getting transported to Los Angeles. And I really did enjoy seeing the Plantars' reactions to everything in LA. It reminds me a lot of Anne questioning everything in Amphibia when she first got there. But like Anne and Amphibia, the Plantars do warm up to LA. Now, Anne getting back home prior to a series finale like would be expected of most shows means that we actually get to see her adjust to being back. And the biggest question I think a lot of us had was, what would the reunion with Anne and her parents be like? This moment was actually shown as part of the San Diego Comic-Con panel, so we've known for a little while, but still it was nice to see. Time has been passing since Anne and the others have been gone, so each of their parents have been coping to their disappearances in different ways. We have yet to see Sasha's and Marcy's parents, but I think we'll see them in due time. But the Boonchoys seemed heartbroken that their daughter was still missing. I think the shot of Mrs. Boonchoy in the kitchen summed it up best, with how hard the past few months have been on her. But that makes the moment she reunites with Anne all the more heartwarming. We also get to meet Anne's dad for the first time as well, which is definitely a hell of a character introduction to be reuniting with your missing daughter. Oh, and of course we get to formally meet the most important character, Domino. I do really like the Boonchoys though. Throughout the episode we see that they are caring, warm-hearted parents who are just worried about their kid. But then we get the meeting of Anne's family and her found family, which goes about as well as you would expect. This also gives Anne the opportunity to catch her parents up on the 2 seasons worth of backstory as to why she was gone, and there is even a small nod to the working title Amphibiland from the pilot pitch. But here we get mention of the authorities from Anne's mom, and I'm guessing these authorities might be the ones that we saw in the Season 3 intro, which was not played for this particular episode, likely because it was 22 minutes long, so we'll probably see them in the coming episodes, but I wouldn't be surprised if the authorities have been involved in doing an investigation on Anne, Sasha, and Marcy's disappearance. 3 girls suddenly disappearing out of nowhere would probably cause the police to get involved. And with the Boonchoys agreeing to have the Plantars stay, again this is a role reversal, the group is placed under quarantine. This episode was written before the pandemic, but it was produced from home, so the timing of the quarantine in the episode to real-life events was definitely an interesting coincidence. But with Anne readjusting to life back at home, the Plantars learning about Earth, and Anne's parents being a bit too overprotective, the quarantine fun dies out pretty quick. And after some convincing, the Boonchoys do agree to let Anne and the Plantars accompany them on a trip to the market. As protective as they are being since they just got their daughter back after 5 months, they do acknowledge that Anne has changed and matured.
Which is true, Anne has definitely grown up a lot in her time in Amphibia, but trouble still seems to follow her wherever she goes, as we see that Andrias has plans to get rid of Anne. And for as awful as Andrias is, he didn't seem to be completely faking his relationship with Marcy, as he did take a liking to Cynthia Coven and potato chips that she introduced him to. He's still a bad guy, but hey, at least he isn't a complete heartless bastard. We also get to see the injured Marcy for the first time in the show outside of the intro. I know the trailer came out, and since I was traveling I wasn't able to do an analysis, but we know that the creature in the basement merges with Marcy in some way. So we got that to look forward to, but I do like that we are seeing Andrias early on in season 3. It'd be a missed opportunity to not keep checking in with what's going on in Amphibia with Andrias, Marcy, and Sasha. In this scene, Andrias also says that the robot can't let the other world know of the coming invasion, so it must stay hidden. Based on the intro alone, I think we kinda knew that Andrias would invade Earth, but now we get that confirmation. We also see the Blue Gem's energy signature, and later on, we can see that reading can track Anne since she hasn't completely drained all of her powers. But the cool thing about this robot is that it has a stealth mode where it can turn itself invisible. Although, as we'll see later, things like magnetic energy or even being attacked will break it. However, at the end of the episode, we see that he is repairing himself and also says that upgrades are in progress. So we'll probably see an improved invisibility feature when we inevitably cross paths again. But back to Anne and the Plantars. They get their first disguises. As we know, Sprig and Polly will eventually get their own disguises later on, but for now we're doing the classic trench coat. Once we actually get to the store, we see Anne being very responsible to the surprise of her parents. From taking a picture of the shopping list, to refusing to get Polly a lotto ticket, to making sure all of the Plantars don't wander off in the store, Anne is doing a good job of showing how much she has grown. And her parents are pleasantly surprised. Of course, this charming moment can't last long though, because when Anne and the Plantars go to get noodles, they encounter the robot. With Anne not wanting to get caught by her parents and the robot following orders to not be seen, the two sides have to carefully duke it out in the store. And oh my god, just bless these pure sweet parents. But Anne and the Plantars hide in the freezer, which unfortunately leads to them getting discovered. The Plantars try to fight back but aren't much of a threat. However, Anne is a much bigger threat when her blue powers activate. And they only seem to activate when people she cares about are in danger. All it took was one punch to the robot for it to retreat. And similar to what we saw in True Colors, Anne gets exhausted after using them. Thanks to the durian that was shown previously in the episode, Sprig is able to wake her up though. And before we leave the store, we get a nice scene between Anne and her parents, with both of them acknowledging how much she's grown and apologizing for not trusting her. And Anne thanking them, but also acknowledging that she gets why they'd be overprotective, since she has to look after the Plantars now. Just a nice parallel and moment of growth for both Anne and her parents. But as we're leaving the store, we get an interesting line of dialogue from Anne saying that she felt bad when using her powers. While Anne has used them to protect others, the source of them is still a mystery. I mean, the gems are part of the Calamity Box, and I can't imagine anything that has the word calamity in it is a good thing. There is the prophecy shown in the book From a Day at the Aquarium. 3 stars burning bright come from beyond to expel the night. Should they fight or embrace the fall, their choice will determine all. My best guess is that the 3 stars are Anne, Sasha, and Marcy, who are each linked to a gem. The knight could be the creature in the basement. I think a really big twist would be if Andrias and the knight actually had good intentions and the stars are actually the bad entities in the situation. Or maybe the knight is bad and the stars are bad too, and they are 2 forces that are prophesized to fight each other. I'm wondering if these gems actually have more malicious uses outside of what we have seen. We know together they allow travel between worlds and that Anne has used her powers for good, but those were only small instances. If these stars and their powers aren't forces of good and Anne using her powers actually has the potential to cause serious damage, or worse, allow something else lying dormant to take over, then that could cause a lot of problems going forward. but it's possible that I'm overanalyzing what Anne meant by this line. However, considering the whole stars and night thing was dropped subtly and not mentioned since, I believe it will actually come into play soon. You know, just to add to Anne's list of things to do. Which, by the way, she does say that she wants to make up with Marcy and Sasha, so that tells us where Anne is at when it comes to her friendship with them. I know that was a big question going into this season. But with that concludes our first episode of Season 3, and also shout out to Jen Strickland for animating the new Season 3 outro. It has such an upbeat vibe compared to the other two, which I do love, but I always enjoy seeing new takes on outros. But the new normal was a wonderful introduction back into the show. Like I said earlier, the 22-minute episodes of Amphibia are always so good and easily some of the best episodes in the series, and this one is no different. But now we're going back to the usual 2 11-minute episodes where we'll continue to see Anne, her parents, and the Plantars adjust to their new normal. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.